Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to explore something really fascinating, the connection between painting and photography.
Hmm.
We're drawing from Somkiat Saelek's podcast, Somkiat's podcast.
That's right. Specifically, episode 5, Brushstrokes and Shutter Clicks. It's all about how these two, seemingly different art forms actually feed into each other.
Yeah, exactly. And our mission here is to sort of unpack that, how things like composition, color, emotion, and even the pace of creating, how they play out in both.
Right, as Somkiat sees it.
Okay, so starting off, Somkiat had this initial view. Photography for him was really about capturing light, shape, that specific moment in time.
Yeah, freezing a moment.
While painting was more about,
Yeah.
well, movement, color, and the feeling of it all.
And what's really interesting is how he builds on that idea. He says photography teaches us how to see, through the lens, focusing on light, form.
Seeing clearly.
Exactly. But painting, that's where you learn to feel what you're seeing, to interpret it emotionally.
He gave a great example, didn't he, about a skyscape.
Oh, yeah, in London, Ontario. He took a photo first.
Right.
But then that photo became the jumping off point for a painting. And that's where the difference really comes through. The photo captured like a split second.
Just one instant.
But the painting, that was his memory, his emotional reaction put onto canvas. It wasn't just the instant. It was the feeling of the instant, maybe stretched out.
That really shows the different ways of working, doesn't it? He mentioned photography often leans on composition rules.
Like the rule of thirds, yeah. Balancing the shot, making it visually interesting in a structured way.
But with painting, he felt freer to break those rules, driven more by the emotion he wanted to get across.
Which makes sense. Different goals sometimes.
Yet he still sees them aiming for a similar thing,
Okay.
telling a kind of truth.
Yeah, just from different angles maybe. The camera shutter freezes reality,
A slice of it.
while the brush, it sort of melts and layers that reality with feeling and memory.
So what about practical tips? Did he offer advice for artists?
He did. For photographers, he suggested, try painting one of your photos.
Not to become a master painter, but
But to really feel the colors, even the subtle ones maybe the camera saw, but you didn't fully register until you try to mix them, to put them down yourself.
okay, that's interesting. And for painters?
Try photography, pick up a camera, and shoot your subject. It helps you understand light, how it shapes things, how it falls. It sharpens your eye for observation.
It's about cross-pollination then, letting one practice inform the other.
Precisely. Mixing it up creatively.
And his final thought really ties it all together.
Yeah, it's quite powerful. He basically says, look, art is about vision. It doesn't fundamentally matter if you're using a lens or a brush.
The tool isn't the point.
Right. What truly matters is what you see, and just as importantly, what you feel. And apparently, you can see examples of both his photography and painting on his website, clickgstudio.ca.
So the big takeaway here seems to be this really tight link between seeing the world and feeling about the world in visual art. And Somkiat's journey shows how playing with both painting and photography can make an artist's perspective, well, richer, deeper.
Absolutely. And it kind of leaves you, the listener, with a thought, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, even if you don't think of yourself as an artist, how might trying out a totally different way of creating something maybe outside your comfort zone, how might that change how you see and perceive things every day?
That's a good question. Something to think about.